Good morning and welcome to the One Lonely Farmer channel. So, anyway, today's the day we're going to change the tires on my Model A Ford. It's fairly simple, and I just thought that, it's raining again, and yesterday I was working so hard that I actually didn't take any footage of anything. I was bailing all day the last 3 days, just really pounding them out. We made about 1,000 bales, I would say, close to it anyway. 3 days, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 900, 8 to 900 bales between me and Timothy. We worked really hard at it, so I just didn't have any time to do any filming. It just wasn't going to happen, unfortunately, for you guys. So I've had this in the can here for about 2 weeks, and I just thought that it would be something that's somewhat interesting to see Timothy sit on his ass, because he doesn't bend over for nothing. But you know what? I'm suffering from a very sore back right now because I've been working really hard, and I hurt my back, and I haven't given it time to rest. So I'm on Tiger Balm patches, for holistic healing, I guess you want to call it. And I don't take Advil. I take an aspirin a day, a small aspirin a day, just for my health, keep my heart pumping okay. But anyways, this Model A car I have owned, and I think I've said this before, but I've owned this car for 26 years. 26 years. I bought it when I was 20, and I'm 46 now. That makes 26 years. When Timothy was born, I may have said this already, before Tim was born, he was 10 days late, so I took his mother for a very rough ride on some very rough back roads, and we got her to pop, and Timothy was born. So the car does have some sentimental value to me in that aspect. So a year or so ago, I had asked Teresa if she wanted to go across country with me in that Model A car, and she said yes. So when she did that, I said, cool, let's get her painted up. We got to look good going across the country. So I employed a fellow up the road from me, Mickey, and Mickey D'Elia of Mickey's Max. You can look him up on Facebook, Mickey's Max. And, he does Mack trucks, but he's pretty good with a spray gun and body work. So I employed him to do this job because I just don't have the time to do it. I always wanted a green car with yellow wheels and black fenders. So 26 years later, I stripped off, I had the paint stripped off, I had the body work done, and now I have a green car with yellow wheels and black fenders. But Teresa and I threw a clinker in our plans, and we had a little boy, William. So if you're new to the channel, William is my son. He's not my grandson, he's my son, and Teresa's son. I think it's funny how some people can just say, whose child is that? Whose kid is that? Well, he's mine. So this car is a two-seater. Yes, it does have a rumble seat. I have removed the rumble seat because I have to reupholster the seat and the interior of that thing, which I have that at, in the Taj Mahal there. And, when I get a little more time, like rainy days like today, maybe I'll start the interior kit. It was fairly expensive for that kit, and these tires were quite expensive also. They weren't cheap. They weren't cheap at all. As a matter of fact, there's 5 tires on this car, and, it's a beautiful car. I love the car. I drive it. It's not a daily driver, but if I want to drive it today, I'll just jump in it and go for a drive. It's fun. Everybody should have that kind of fun in their life. Take an old car out like that. But the tires that were on there were old Sears tires. Yes, Sears and Roebuck and Company. I don't know who Sears contracted to make them, whether they were Coker or B.F. Goodrich or Goodrich Silvertown. So that's what I put on. Actual Goodrich Silvertown wide white wall tires that I had bought from Max Antique Auto Supply. They are made on the original molds that they made tires on way back in the 1930s, because I guess they didn't scrap them. I don't know. Or maybe these cars ran on the highways of the United States and around the world for so many years that they just always continued to make tires on limited or special runs. So that's what I'm seeing, So I bought them. They were not cheap. Believe me, they were not cheap. They were like $200 a piece. So there's $1,000 worth of rubber on this car, which really, it's disgusting. I mean, downright disgusting. So, in order to put these tires on, because they are a tube type tire and the rims are a spoke type rim, they sell you these things called flaps. All right, now you're seeing me with the flap right now. I'm taking it out, and there it is, and I'm like, this is interesting. The problem is, now watch, in my surprise, I'm looking at these rims, and the spokes have no holes or no weld spots on them. And that was the whole reason for the flaps, was because, they used to make these rims they would drill holes, set the spokes, and weld on the inside. And what would happen is it would rub the inner tube and cause a flap. So you had flaps you had to put in, and they had to be evenly spaced, very nicely and over the hole. And they're a bit of a pain in the ass to do, but I did them. So it's not like today's modern tires where you can just slap them on, throw some air in them, they're tubeless, and, balance them and you're on your way. And today, they don't even balance the damn things hardly. What they do is they just throw some glass beads in there or even some liquid balancer. On some of the semis, you can get liquid balancer, and I've used it. I've used it years ago in the front of, what truck was that? It had to be the Mac that I'm running right now, the Vision. So they asked me when I was putting tires on, you want liquid balancer? And I was like, I guess. What is it? And they're like, well, it's basically fix-a-flat. And when you get rolling down the highway, it'll balance out the tire, which I don't know how that works. But I always thought that if there was a low spot in the tire that it would just congregate to there. But whatever. The tires did seem to last a lot longer than normal. They were Dunlops. And, so... I used that. These tires, they're low-speed tires. This car only goes 45 miles an hour down the road. You can get it through 50, but 45 is pretty comfortable. I thought if I was going to do this cross-country road trip that I would be putting a 2-speed rear in the car. But I'm thinking that if I do this trip, William is a baby. He cannot go. But if I do this trip with Teresa at some point in our lives, which it will be later in our lives now because William is, let's face it, he's a baby. He can't go in this car. There's no room for a car seat. There's no room for barely room for 2 people. So that's not going to happen. I have talked about buying a 4-door sedan or taking one of the trucks that I just purchased and it would be the Ford. The 41 Ford has no body on the back. Take that 41 Ford and completely build a living quarters on the back of it and take that 41 Ford across the country. There's enough room in that truck to put 3 people in because it's wider than what the Model A is. So, but you see the 41 Ford in the background there on the right side of to the right side of the 2 trucks in the back. And it would be really neat to build like this wooden frame house on the back of it and just take it for a ride. See how far we get. A tin roof on it that slants forward, at the front, over the cab, and that'd be like a bed area and a small kitchen with a stovepipe that comes out the side. Wouldn't that be pretty damned awesome to take that across the country? We'd call it the One Lonely Farmer Roadshow. And we would just take the country at 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour from one end of the country to the other. And back again. Stop off at Ken's up 63 Impala, maybe Elderly Iron. We'd go over there and meet him, and just go see the country. Just have some fun. Maybe swing down towards Georgia and stop in at Josh and Josh Peak. He's in Florence, North Carolina, or South Carolina, and I think it's Florence, South Carolina. I don't know. Florence in the Carolinas, let's put it that way. And his father is down there in Georgia, our Peak, and he lives in Maine, but he's got a vacation home down there in Georgia. If you want to check our Peak out, he puts up a lot of videos on a daily basis, which you kind of have to sift through those. But he's an excellent banjo player, and he just makes something out of nothing on every day. Josh, his son, took the deck off of his house, and his father took all the boards home and built a deck at his campsite that he has down in Georgia. I thought that was pretty funny. So, when you got that sort of thing going on, you can tour the country, but it won't be until I'm old because, let's face it, I'm 46. When William is, say, 18 or graduates high school, which is when I would be able to do that, just 18 years from now, I'll be 40 or 65. Yeah, 64, 65 years old. Ain't that going to be something? I'll be 64 or 65 years old when William graduates from high school, if I survive that long. But anyways, I just thought it was
Okay, so we got the tires on, got the spares on. It's got this horrific blue stuff on it that has to come off. So I'm going to go down to the car wash, and I'm going to wash it a little bit and get that blue shit off of there so I have nice white walls. And that's that.